What's that sound, you say? More spray paint! This is Heads or Tails Shiny Metallic Color Shot Spray Paint. Means it's silver. So, as I said in my last Shiny Metallic Spray Paint video, I wanted to try one with just spray paint and alcohol instead of adding gold foil and mica powders and stuff like that in it, because I really want to go for that Mercury glass look. So I have cleaned my mold really well, and I am now going over it with isopropyl alcohol to get some puddles. And I have been shaking up my rattle can, my spray paint, to make sure that it is good, and shake it up. And now I'm just trying to get a good variation of sizes in my puddles, my alcohol puddles. Big, small, fat, skinny, all that good stuff. And then what we're going to do is, just like we did before, is just go with a layer of our spray paint. And you can already see the alcohol beating up underneath it. So there we go for that. And you can see it. See what it's doing? Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. All right. And then take my high-tech mess mitigation device. Start dabbing gently at those alcohol puddles. Very gently, because I don't want to leave marks of the paper towel, you know, the pattern on the paper towel. I just want to get the excess up. Right. And that takes care of most of the big puddles. So again, gonna let this dry. That looks good. So I've got 7 ounces of my Resiners 1-to-1 that I've been letting sit and degas. And I am going to pour that on to our first layer here. The cool part about the silver spray paint is that because it's still a little bit wet, it's going to cause it to float, much like a floating mica powder, but it's spray paint. So it's going to cause it to float, so it's going to make these really cool patterns above the first layer, and so that gives us more depth and dimension with the patterns and the colors and whatnot. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let this cure, and then we will move on to our next steps. See you soon. All right, so we're back for next steps. The first layer has cured enough for me to be able to put the next layer on. So, alcohol of the isopropyl variety. I did not steal any of the other variety. So we're going to do that. Alright, so got a good beat, you can dance to it. Alright. Sorry, I'm being silly. That's right. Alright, so I'm going to go mix up some resin. I'll be right back. Alright, while I'm mixing my resin, which happens to be 8 ounces of my Resiners 1-to-1, let's talk a little bit about spray paint in heat. Like I said earlier, I'm not using the torch or a long neck lighter or a heat gun or anything. Spray paint is really, really flammable, so please be smart. If you decide to do this, don't use heat. Isopropyl alcohol works just fine. Alright, so pretty much got this all mixed up. And again, this is just clear. There's no color in the resin or anything like that. Just clear. Clear, clear, clear. Clear. With a K and 2 E's. Alright, now this 8 ounces is not going to fill up this tray, even with the 7 ounces that we've already got in there, because this is about a 20-ounce tray. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the edges like I normally do. To try to get an even distribution of resin around the whole thing, and pouring it around the edges, it'll automatically move its way in towards the center of the tray. In the event that your resin does not move into the middle of the tray, please use your provided resin motivation tool to push it in yourself. Please remember to keep all hands and legs inside the project at all times. Alright, so you can see the different patterns that we're getting here, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the differentiation in the alcohol versus the spray paint versus the resin, and it's just really, it's going to move around and make a really cool pattern, and a lot of dimension in it. And like I said, the spray paint will, some of it, not all of it, some of it will float to the surface, so that'll give it a little bit more depth and interest, visually speaking. So, at any rate, again, we're going to go ahead and let this cure, and I will see you guys back when it's time for next steps. See you soon. All right, so here we are back again, and you will see it looks a little different. I went outside and gave it a coat of the Princess Cut spray paint, and I'm letting that sort of dry a little bit. I have 7 ounces of my Resiners 1-to-1 that I am going to add a drop of my HTV Ront Black pigment. Alright, so you can see how tiny that little dot is in there. There's that. And I'm also going to add a little bit of Interference Gold powder to it. Sorry. You're probably asking, why are you using Interference Gold instead of Interference Silver? Well, first reason is I don't have any interference silver. And the second one is I do want a little tiny bit of variation in the color just to give a little bit more depth to it. Because if you use all the same color, it's just looks sort of one note. And so that's why I use the princess cut on the back instead of the silver. And why I'm using the gold is to give it just a little bit more dimension. Alright, so now that that's all stirred in, I'm going to go ahead and pour it over. So, go ahead, get this evened out. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let this cure, and I will see you guys for the demold. See you soon. This reflection's a little different. We have a light, and we have something up here. What is that? That's, I think, oh, that's a frame, corner of a frame. And here's a little shelfy thing. It's a basket that I have hanging on the wall. So interesting reflections today. All right, let's get this guy out. See how it turned out. All right. I do have some trimming to do around the edges, just where, you know, went over a little bit, but it just basically flakes right off. So, all right, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Whoa! That looks really cool. Yes. Yes. Very cool. Almost looks like a moon or a very dry tortilla. I like it a lot. You can see, well, I hope you can see the depth between the layers. It's really got that Mercury glass look of the mirror effect wearing away over time. I like that. I like that a lot. This would look very cool with some handles on it, or I'm also thinking about putting hooks on it to hang it on the wall. I like that a lot. What I'm also looking at, this would look good with some temporary tattoos on it, like around the edges, like a border. This is very cool. I like it a lot. So, if you're looking for sort of a old mirror look, old mirror effect, you could, oh, you know what would be really cool is if you did the first layer and then put like a temporary tattoo over that and then poured the second layer so the image is like underneath, like hidden underneath. That would be really cool. That's actually a really cool idea. I like that. So lots of stuff to play with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Take care, guys. Cheers.